sure if it's because of the delta or because something else. That's for the aerodynamics experts to comment on that.
Right.
Maybe.
So that's 2 wins for Arco coming in there, and I think that completes that matchup. We're on to the second match of the 2 o'clock hour. So guys, I'm going to send you back to the Be Right Back screen. I need a few minutes to get this match set up, and we will be back at you with more BFM action. All right, boys, we are back. DiMichele versus Taco Grease. And I think this is going to be F14 with the human Rio. So Taco Grease using Bonsai as his Rio against DiMichele in a Mirage. So while these guys are coming into the merge, Stooge, we talked about this briefly from the F14's perspective. What does the Mirage have to do aside from try and force it one circle to come out on top against the Turkey?
Let's say if the Mirage finds it can fight, start one-on-one normally, try to fight it, however the fight goes. If the Mirage pilot finds himself in trouble, the Tomcat on his 6, what he should maybe do is first speed up, right? Go, say, 500 knots, because why? This is a Tomcat's big weakness. The Tomcat doesn't really slow down very well from high speed because the air brakes won't extend at 500 knots anymore. The flaps, well, even there you have to extend them at slower speed. Anyway, it's hard to slow down, and the Mirage can slow down like crazy. So you force him into that close, high-speed chase, and then just turn the hell out of the Mirage, and you have an overshoot from the Tomcat, and try to get him from there.
Look at that end around by DiMichele coming through there, almost getting himself into a gun's position on the first turn, as my voice cracks like I'm going through puberty, of this matchup between himself and Taco Grease. So now we find, Stooge, we see DiMichele all over the 6 of the Turkey. So how does the F-14 get out of this position?
Actually,
does he just try and utilize his sustained turn rate?
Yes, it actually doesn't look that bad for the Tomcat. Taco Grease, he could extend his flaps more, slow down and extend the flaps more. He could get more of a bite into the turn. Aside from that, you see the Mirage, it's kind of fluttering around here. It's below 200 knots, so there's the sustained limit. And now Taco Grease is very smartly keeping up the speed here and sustaining the turn, like I was saying, and the Mirage kind of is following the 2-circle geometry and is struggling. You can see it fluttering around and it's losing position every second. Soon, if this continues, the Tomcat will be on top of him in no time.
So if you were in this position, in the Mirage, would you try and break away and accelerate and force the Tomcat into a high-speed chase and then utilize that to your advantage?
No, what I would do is I would make a bit of a split S and try to force the fight into the vertical, where in the vertical you have more one-circle geometries than if I stay horizontal. Like, staying this horizontal, the Tomcat will win. So I would, as long as there's not enough separation, I could, you know, bite from the below and come up, and the Tomcat would be forced to react to that, because he would, as you can see here now, he actually coming down, and the Mirage could pull hard up and then continue from there. Actually, you see, now this is one circle geometry, and that's it. The Tomcat's advantage is gone for a moment. There's an overshoot, but the Tomcat wisely goes up and doesn't commit to that slow speed fight with the Mirage.
Look at that verticality from the Tomcat and its ability to just power through the vertical against the Mirage. I mean, no other plane in DCS really has, at least to my knowledge, the ability to be able to do that. This head-on pass could have spelled disaster for either pilot, but no rounds were able to find their target coming through there.
Taco
Now we're back into a two-circle.
Yes. Taco Grease made a brilliant jink there. Like, he had the speed to jink that, and he made it brilliantly. It was beautiful. Okay, one circle again. Mirage might get a shot. No. Another one circle. You see, they're pulling on each other's nose, and again, Mirage will get a snapshot here.
Ooh.
But it's a min.
Rounds were dangerously close coming through there, and it looks like the Mirage is doing it correctly, continually trying to push these into one-circle fights where that instantaneous turn rate is going to be able to be at its advantage and work in the Mirage's favor.
Both pilots. Oh, there's a hit.
Rounds on target, but with the Tomcat, it's really difficult to tell if he's at any type of, you know, deteriorated state.
He's still flying, so... Oh, now it's a two-circle, see? And now the Mirage has nowhere to go. Yep. This is bad for the... This is bad for the mic, because now... Oh, but he doesn't... Taco Grease doesn't see him! He lost sight. Game over. Maybe.
He's gonna pull lead here. I thought he was gonna pull lead. Use that instantaneous turn rate, but you don't have the airspeed to get the airflow over the wing to be able to do it.
See how crazy the Tomcat sustains the turn now. He has flaps pretty much down. All that lift, kind of 300 knots.
And the straight wing. The straight wing is amazing at low speed. Sustained turn rate.
Yeah, I have to say the sustained turn rate on the Tomcat currently is pretty crazy. And you can see the Mirage doesn't sustain. Like I said, it's just... And now there's no altitude, and there will be no airspeed, so... Taco Grease will get a shot here, and the Mirage has to defend right about now. Take the shot.
He's gonna force an overshoot? Oh,
that's it. That's kill. That's a kill.
That's it. Yeah, it is.
He might get revenge here, but it's on fire.
The words of Stooge, he's on fire. Not good. I don't think he's gonna be able to come back from that. But what a fight. Both pilots coming back. I thought he was going to be able to force the overshoot, but he didn't have to. And I think we're moving on to round two.
I like that both pilots are... Yeah, go on.
Let me try and get this. Was that what DeMicali was trying to do there, was force the overshoot with trying to pull up at the last second and force the Tomcat to come by him? Is that your assumption of what was going on?
Yeah, absolutely. However, with the low airspeed and no altitude left to play with, it's, you know, it's a last-ditch maneuver. So at that point, right. no altitude, no airspeed, the game is very likely over at that point. That was a nice, dynamic between the Mirage's one-circle capability and the Tomcat's sustained turn two-circle capability, and in the end, the two-circle capability came out on top.
Right. So now we're riding along with Taco Grease. It shows Ta Bonsai, but Bonsai is the Rio.
Right.
Sometimes the game doesn't know what to do with itself, but it is Taco Grease.
Taco Grease having a slow merge speed. It should be okay though. At a slow merge speed, he can pull more angles initially. The Tomcat is winning the one circle here, which is cool. Might be a head-on.
Oh,
wow!
Wow!
Yeah,
Wow. That was something out of Savior's playbook as D. McKelly is able to just demolish Taco Grease's F-14 and surgically remove the right wing, equalizing this up at 1 apiece coming in here into round 3. The winner takes all. That was a balls out maneuver there. Ball so big that he needed a wheelbarrow to be able to carry him. But it brings us back to a 1-1 equalized playing field.
Taco Grease.
Sorry guys for the funky camera angle here.
Taco Grease didn't really respect the head-on. That was his mistake there. He was just pulling and he wasn't really aware of the danger there. He wasn't shooting back, nor was he jinking. And you should be doing either one of those two, or ideally both, if you can. Like take a shot and then jink, for example.
I cannot. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Now they're ready. I guess we gotta reset. Sorry guys, just getting... Gotta get D-Mike to reset here.
Alright, let the best pilot win.
Who do you give the advantage to coming in here into this round 3?
Both pilots obviously know what they're doing, so I would say it's a coin toss. They both know what they're doing. It's a coin toss. I'd say 50-50. I can't name a favorite here.
Looks like this time again, Taco Grease is coming in relatively slow. Looks like he's engine idle, air brake out, not dumping any fuel. But I think he's going to try the same maneuver, flip over, and dive, and try to turn this into a vertical playing field instead of the horizontal. What is D-Mike's going to do to combat this? There goes the roll. No, he goes into horizontal. We're into a 2-circle.
Tomcat's playground. However, you see the separation is building, so any carelessness here will result in a head-up. And we can see the mic is coming. Yeah, there's the guns. You have to avoid the guns. Avoid it. Okay.
He got really lucky that those rounds were just going on any side of his aircraft.
Taco Grease doesn't respect the head-ons. That's his risk here. But he does respect his airspeed. He's slavishly maintaining... Oh, here comes the gun again. Here comes the gun. Oh, he jinked it.
He barely misses. These gun rounds are getting so close. I don't know if it's by luck or what you just said, jinking, but it looked like he wasn't even hardly maneuvering. And those rounds were just barely missing his aircraft. I don't see any bullet holes anywhere on his Tomcat yet.
The Mirage guns have a low velocity. That's why they easily kind of get left behind in these high-speed shots. Okay, there comes the 1-circle switch from the mic, and Taco Grease isn't reacting, so this might be... Oh, never mind.
There's the 2-circle again.
Which will end up in possibly in a head-on here. The Mirage, you see the Mirage has an angles advantage, I mean the altitude advantage, so he can use that altitude to get the nose around, but now you can see the altitude is gone. They are co-altitude again. Switch to 1-circle. A bit lazy, but might work. Look at that. No. Too lazy.
Mirage has got to be worried about running out of gun ammo.
Yeah. Now, however, now it looks worse for the Tomcat here. Taco Grease is very careful about his airspeed. I bet he's just constantly looking at his airspeed to keep it optimal.
What optimal airspeed does he want to be at in this particular situation?
300-ish with the flaps down. So pretty slow.
I think the Mirage is out of gun ammo.
It's very possible. However, that doesn't mean it's lost. Oh, might be a snapshot here for... Nope. Taco Grease is winning these one circles. Might be another snapshot for Taco Grease. Oh, never mind.
And D-Mike is not out of gun ammo, but I think he's getting low. He's not being as liberal as it was earlier. Cutting the airspeed, trying to shorten that turn.
You see, now he did the pulling down thing and trying to be vertical, except he's not vertical. He's actually staying down there.
Did Taco Grease lose sight of him?
Not sure, but they're getting lower, so as long as their snapshots are missing or the Mirage runs out of ammo, then this might end the same. Has another snapshot opportunity here. Good one. Miss. Oh, there might have been a hit.
I didn't see any hits.
Okay, I guess not.
The Mirage has got to be really low on ammo.
Oh, this looks dangerous.
I don't know that he pulls out of this.
There was damage. There was damage.
There was damage?
Uh-huh. At least
there's
in the
damage on the Mirage, too.
Yeah.
So, man, he just goes into the vertical, not able to turn out. Maybe some of the hydraulics gave out in that particular situation. But DiMichele is able to take it 2 rounds to 1. So what really gave that one away?
Luck. Luck. They had multiple opportunities to shoot each other in the face and in the side, but it all in luck and marksmanship. I think in the end they actually hit each other. Like I said, both had damage, but just Taco Grease's battle damage was more severe, and he crashed because of that.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get the next round set up. We've got 2 more to get through. That one took a while. Actually, we got 1 more to get through, and then we got the final 30 minutes, so 3 more matches, 4 in total to get through today. So, guys, give me a few minutes. Next round coming at you, Kobe Stark versus Scott Harness 6. Coming at you in just a few minutes. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 3rd match of the 2 o'clock hour. Kobe Stark versus Scott Harness 6. And in-game, Scott Harness is actually Chiffin Tooth 8. So just be aware, I'm going to be calling him Chiffin. It's not going to be, I'm not going to call him Scott. So just heads up, that is going to be taking place. Looks like Kobe is in a Mirage. Not sure what Chiffin's going to be in. And Stooge stepped away, so we're going to take a second and catch up on all follows and everything that's been going down. Fat Boys, Brendan, Tech Hordy, Dimburger, Nick G214, Cater Lowly, Darian85, Matt Savella 64, Revenge Challenge, Fred0313, Feisty Flyer, Turbo Stormer, all thank you for the follows. Much appreciated. Elder, or Triplecation and Ravage Talon, thank you for the follows. Elder, thank you for the 50 bits. 104th Bullet, thank you for the 104 bits. Elder, thank you for another 50 bits. And then Elder dropped another bit, said, lost my line of sight to the stream. Well, welcome back. Demigod also dropped a follow. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the show. Asking if these guys are ready. Brendan S., thank you for the follow. Just making sure that these guys are ready to rock and roll in this matchup. If they don't respond here soon, I'm going to have to jump down and ask them what's going on. Guys, I'll be right back. I got to go ask them why they're not ready enough. Be right back.
Okay,
All right, sorry guys, I hit the wrong button. Instead of going to be right back, I said starting. Oops. But we're here, so I'm just trying to figure out if these guys are ready, and they are not telling me that they're ready. I don't know why. So I'm going to send you back to the Be Right Back screen because these guys do not want to type in chat for some reason. So I'll be right back. We're finally ready. They have given the already. So let's do this. Another Hornet versus Mirage matchup coming at you here. We're going to ride along with Kobe Stark. Looks like he's going idle coming through. Do you know anything about either of these pilots, Stooge?
Negative. But let's get in without expectations, right? That's the best way to get into anything.
I would agree. No expectations lead to great things, and that's what we are looking for today.
I would say no pre-merge setups leads to crappier merges.
Mirage
but
did a little bit of a pre-merge.
It's
he was
okay.
turning a bit before he got through it. Hornet immediately goes into the vertical, and the Mirage tries to chase him.
Here is critical that the Hornet force him into a two-circle geometry by staying up and keeping up the speed, and he has to avoid this head-on. This head-on is very risky, so we need to see some evasive action here.
M61 rounds on target? No! First pass passes without incident, no rounds coming from the Hornet. And the Mirage gets a little burst off, cuts throttle, tries to reverse it to stay with the turn of the Hornet. We're coming back into what looks like a two-circle, unless the Hornet reverses it back into a one.
Well, it's a bit of both.
Yeah, right now it is a bit of both. We're risking the possibility of coming into a scissor. No, looks like we're coming right back down into a two-circle.
Unfortunately, Mirage has guns on the Hornet, so Hornet is in a bit of a bad spot here. Chiffentooth, who is in the Hornet, he could still try and out-sustain this turn and force it to circle, but this is bad. Oh, miss. Oh, another danger here. This is no altitude left. Okay, he has airspeed. Chiffentooth has airspeed, so he's in a good position to defend at least. He's not immediately dead here. This is actually a very difficult position for the Mirage to score a kill, as long as Chiffentooth maintains the speed. Just the Chiffen needs to defend often enough, switching, rolling around often enough so the Mirage doesn't get a solution. Oh, is he gonna overshoot? He's overshooting. Wow.
He might actually plummet into the ground.
Oh, too greedy.
Didn't have the
maneuver kit.
have the AOA available to be able to get that. And the Mirage was able to maneuver kill Chiffen coming in there. That is unfortunate. But a kill is a kill, and Kobe Stark comes out on top.
It's a difficult position to deal with when you're under pressure like that. I mean, I've crashed in the finals as well, I remember, against Kapsu. I think the last round I crashed into water or something when I was being chased, so it's pretty easy when you're under the constant threat of gun to lose concentration on the terrain.
Chiffen disconnects. Chiffen disconnected.
Maybe
go down and see what's going on. Sorry, I had to go down and see what was going on. He pressed the wrong button trying to reslot in here, so he's reconnected. What would you like to see from the Hornet in this next round to try and provide a more advantageous position against
conscious
two-circle Mirage?
Yeah, conscious two-circle maneuvering, but that's easy to say, but that's difficult to pull off, because if you don't that's something I learned a bit later myself, how to force two-circle geometry in the 3D. When you at certain moments you go into deeper lag, you put your lift vector into very deep lag behind the bandit, and so kind of make it more two-circle and less of a one-circle. And this will, if your opponent tries to do one-circle, if he tries to kind of cut corners and pull with the radius in the 3D, you counter it by he's pulling lift vector into the lead, right? To kind of take a shortcut on your nose. And you counter it by going lag. So these two maneuvers kind of counter each other, and this way, when you're flying in the lag, flying the two-circle, you get to maintain a higher airspeed, because it's a two-circle is is not as sharp a turn, it's more of a sustained turn, not an instantaneous hard kind of thing. I don't know if that made completely sense, but I'm trying to.
No, it did. It made sense.
So,
just waiting on these guys to reset. Dylan Biz says, the easiest way to do it is to put your effing nose on your enemy and pull the trigger and kill him. That is some John Madden-esque shit right there.
I use a visualization almost like that. It's not to put the nose on him. When people ask sometimes, how do you kill the bandit? I say, well, I kind of visualize the bandit blowing up very soon, in a few seconds, and then it happens, right? You visualize it, you kind of see it. You see it happening, you get the satisfaction kind of beforehand, the anticipation of the kill, and then it happens, right?
Would seem to. Most of the time. For me, at least in BFM, I'm typically the one blowing up.
Depends who you're fighting, of course. I'm struggling a bit with the Tomcat. Like I chose the Tomcat because it's such a beast, performance-wise.
Are you
However,
going to the Viper when it comes out?
am I what about the Viper?
Are you going to be going to the Viper when it comes out?
Well,
Is it going to be replacing the Turkey?
well, nothing is replacing anything. I like to fly them all. Like, you know what? My favorite type of tournament would have the participants mandatory to fly all airframes. World War II, Korea, modern, everything. And I would love that because I can fly most of them. And the principles of dogfights don't change.
They don't change.
And
things just get faster.
yeah, and what gives me the advantage then is that I don't care about that. So many people fly only one airframe, so they're used to that, and they or very few airframes. Okay, let's look at the fight here.
No pre-setup, looks like.
Yeah, it's at this out. The Hornet has speed.
No circle fight really coming into this yet. Chiffin takes it into the vertical, comes end over as the Mirage takes it into the horizontal. And I'm going to give the advantage right now to Chip. Oh, he broke away. Did he lose sight?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
150%. He doesn't see the Mirage. Kubi's Mirage.
He does now, though. No, he doesn't. Does he?
He's.
I thought he did.
Kubi doesn't see him either. Oh, this is another SA lost. They don't see each other.
Nope, they don't. Let's zoom in on the Mirage and see which way he's turning. The Mirage is actually flying the opposite direction.
Exactly.
They're moving into, if they maintain this turn, into a one circle. If they maintain it, they should see each other.
I mean,
they should.
Yeah, the eyeball.
But I don't think Chiffin sees them.
You were asking me earlier, what do I do in this situation? I make sure the bandit isn't blocking me, then I extend. Like, let's say to the edge of the bubble. I extend a few miles, and then come back and fly low and try to sweep with the radar. Because, you're coming from the edge of the bubble, then obviously you scan into the bubble and try to find the bandit somewhere there. And that way, it's possible to find the bandits. Again.
I keep thinking that Chiffin's got to see that Mirage. I think he might now as he reverses his turn. Across, does he see him?
No.
Nope.
No. You see he's turning away. Doesn't see him. Well, Kubi might. No, Kubi doesn't. Why? Because he's not even burning. Kubi is saving fuel, because he has no idea where the bandit is either. We see Chiffin burning all the way, while Kubi is doing mill power and saving fuel. Which means that Chiffin will be out of fuel at some point if he keeps the speed up. And they don't find each other.
They're just not using the radar because they're afraid if they
no, it's just
nail somebody but don't lock them up, they may be giving away their position.
No, the problem is that these distances they're still so close to each other that the radar sweeps a very small sector of the whole sky. And they might have the radars on everything, but it's just still hard at this range. They have no idea they're flying on top of each other. Neither one of them has a good radar, like...
position.
Yeah, no, the radar doesn't see, and they're not using their eyes either to look or to find.
So in this position, ideally you want to be low in something like vertical scan. If you think you're in close, or if you're further away, you would just do like 140 degree azimuth sweep 6 bar and see if you can find it.
Yeah. Sounds reasonable. But neither of them is extending, they're just turning circles.
Well, it's going to turn into a fuel game. I mean, the longer this goes on, the more of a fuel game this becomes. I mean, fuel starts to become progressively more and more of an issue. The Hornet starts with 50%. I think the Mirage is around that, if not lower. Both are fairly fuel efficient at high altitude and gate, but when you get down low, that fuel efficiency kind of goes right out the window.
Now we're finally seeing them separate. So they're now 9 miles apart, well, 8-9 miles apart. And at this point, if they're smart enough to switch the radars on, one of them will find the other. They have some altitude difference though. Chiffon is 20,000, Kubi is 10,000. They're facing now each other, so we might have a radar contact. Unfortunately.
41st Air Hunter says AACQ, bro. Well, the problem with AACQ and the Hornet is it's great, but you still have to set your altitude. I mean, you have to make sure in AACQ, especially when they're this close, that you're scanning the right part of the vertical part of the sky. If you're not going to see it. Whether or not it locks them up automatically for you, it doesn't matter. If you're this close, like Stooge is saying, you got to be able to be scanning the right part of the sky.
What makes it more difficult for them to find each other is that both are slavishly sticking to their altitudes. Chiffon's still at 20,000, Kubi is still at 10,000. You think they're going to find each other here? What I do usually is, if I come, like, let's say in a downward spiral with the scan on, with the radar scan. So I come down, then I sweep the ground sector, and then I try to sweep up from there. But this is obviously not happening here. 5 mile separation. This is gonna take a while. Chiffon's gonna contrail soon, or maybe.
Yeah, he is.
Maybe not.
I have the feeling one, if not both of these guys aren't using the radar.
It's possible, but we can't tell 100%.
No, it's just a gut guesstimation. But the flying, how they're flying, just, it seems like they're not.
I'm starting to think whether we should have a rule for this, like, you know, if this goes on long enough, we'd have to force a reset. Like, say, 5 minutes of no contact, and we'd have to force a reset. Because the fuel is gonna, you know, there's enough fuel for them to fly around for a while. Okay, Kubi finally kind of...
Maybe. We've said this a couple times.
Well, the altitudes are closer now. Look, look, look. Now we're gonna have contact, finally. I think Kubi knows where he's going. Yeah, they're merged.
Yeah, they see each other. Thank DCS Pizza Jesus that we have contact again, and the merge is unfolding before us. Chiffon looks to be in the better position. Yeah, that reversal, I think, gave him the position if he's able to capitalize on this descent through altitude, especially if Kobe Stark continues to dive. It's just going to give Chiffon Kobe 6 coming through here as they come over Anapa.
Chiffon's in a good position. Now he has to close the distance and score the kill. We'll see if Kubi allows for that, or if there's going to be an overshoot. Chiffon's very fast, 650 knots. There is going to be 100% overshoot right here, and Kubi's going to reverse it into the one circle and will most likely gain the angles here.
You gotta question what their fuel state is going in here.
Oh, okay. This is bad. This is bad for Chiffon. He's getting slow, and the Mirage is right on his ass. So
250 knots.
Finish him.
Those dinner plates for air brakes on the Mirage doing their work.
Well, the Mirage is out of speed. It flutters.
That may be it. That's it. Guns on target. And I think I thought that was it. Just not enough rounds in crucial points. He still has full engine control. I didn't see any parts of his aircraft fly off. There's more rounds on target. Still full engines. No round. That did something. He lost his right horizontal stab, and I think he's into a roll, and that is it for Chiffon. and the end of the Hour 2 matchups. Finally.
So that's it.
Man, that was just a game of situational awareness and who was able to pick the other one up first and then capitalize on the first pass, which...
Yeah, well,
actually, that's not true because Chiffin capitalized first and then Kobe was able to reverse it.
Yeah, I mean, the first pass was pretty neutral, and it stayed neutral for a moment until Chiffin was too fast and, and Kobe reversed it. So that's 2-0, yes?
Yep. All right, guys, we are going to our final 2 matches. Rossmum versus Burno, and Ravage Talon versus Solo Wing. So I'm going to take a few minutes, get these guys set up. I'll be back at you with more and the conclusion of BFM action this Sunday for Fights for Honor. See you in a minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and all you animals out there. We are back with the final 2 rounds for Fights for Honor 8th Finals. First round is going to be Burno versus Rosmum, and I think it's going to be a good one. Another Mirage versus F-18. Burno says he's ready. Rosmum says he's ready, so let's give him the countdown. And there's the fight on. So, Stooge, who do you have the advantage here? I mean, Burno is he's a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah,
in the BFM community.
Oh yes, he can beat me with a coin toss kind of chance. So yeah, he's extremely dangerous. Now, I think the only thing Burno needs to grab this win is to be aware of the Mirage's capabilities. If he is aware of the things that I said earlier, to force the Mirage into 2 circle, he'll be golden. If he doesn't.
You've flown against Burno quite a bit, so what does the Mirage, in this case Rosmum, have to do to be able to beat him?
Same thing as usual, like the thing I was talking before. So 1 circle geometry as much as possible, reversals at the critical time to switch to 1 circle, force an overshoot, this kind of thing. You can see Burno is very strong on the speed here. That's actually his specialty. Burno knows his energy and speed. Actually, now he's kind of sacrificing that. That's interesting. That's a mistake from Burno here. This is a 1 circle geometry. I think Burno's getting too greedy and not aware of the Mirage's like 4 sustained turn capabilities. Oh, he does get a shot in, but as you can see,
damage.
Yeah.
In this 1 circle fight with the Mirage, Rosmum being able to reverse this. Now Rosmum looks like he's in the driver's seat coming in here, but he goes quickly back into a 2 circle fight.
Burno's in trouble. And that's because he was too greedy with the 1 circle and it wasn't aware that the Mirage will outdo it in the 1 circle. Now we'll see how he extends here with some airspeed, as you can see. And this is another thing Burno does really nicely. When he's in trouble, he will extend and get some separation and kind of stay in a safer spot. And this is a bit hard for the Mirage to follow with that poor muzzle velocity of those cannons, right? But the Mirage is still keeping up. Rosmum's Mirage is still very nicely following. Let's check his speed. He has good speed too. So Burno is still kind of on the defensive here. Well, at least very defensive here, and forcing the Mirage to overshoot is a bit trickier because the Mirage has an advantage in that department. So I think Burno needs to find an opening where he can get significantly higher airspeed and then play with that, like an extension or something like this, to reset the fight, right? As long as he doesn't reset, he is defensive here, and while that keeps him alive, but the Mirage stays on his ass regardless.
The Hornet coming through Mach 1. And does the advantage reside with the Hornet or the Mirage at high speed?
At high speed, I think the difference is not extremely significant. But we'll see what happens. Now Burno is trying to extend up, but you can see the Mirage is keeping up, so the difference in airspeeds here isn't that significant. I mean, airspeeds and accelerations. Rosmum is keeping behind him nicely. And this is
Rosmum is just doing a phenomenal job of not overextending, overexerting his energy. You know, he's doing a phenomenal job of just staying in that spot, about equidistant, hasn't really moved forward or back on Burno, and just staying put with Burno until Burno makes a mistake and Rosmum's able to capitalize it.
Or Burno runs out of fuel.
Now in this situation, is the Mirage more fuel efficient at this altitude?
Well, I can't say the difference between I mean, there are slight differences, but the fuels are pretty equalized, right? In general, the Chaser has to consume less fuel. Like the Chaser can relax. Like as you can see, Rosmum is relaxing the throttle now. He's not in full afterburner. I think he's actually doing a smart thing, and kind of as long as Burno is this crazy defensive, he's kind of hanging in there, waiting for the altitude to go down, waiting for that shot opportunity. And
Now,
I like this.
Is Rossman waiting for the shot because of the low muzzle velocity of the Mirage?
Correct. And he's also a bit scared to go closer, which is understandable. But I like this. Rossman is showing a great deal of patience, and patience is exactly what you need to deal with Burno. If you're too greedy, Burno will whoop you on that. But I think Rossman could... Here, see Burno's going up. This would be a good place for a shot. That would have...
forcing a bit of an overshoot.
No.
Nope.
No, because the Mirage does it better, right? So if I were in his shoes, I would maybe get just a little closer and try to get some shots in. The fight's been on for a while now, and well, here might be a chance. You know, just a few pot shots here and there. No need to spray it all, but just a little. And Burno isn't that ultra defensive right now. I mean, he's getting tired. He's not defending that hard. So, but Rossman might just be going for a very, you know, kind of passive hang in there kind of thing. He's close enough to shoot, but I would like to see at least a few shots. Okay, here, no, he's close. This is the time to shoot, or okay, it's going to be a forced overshoot, but the Mirage is keeping up, as you can see, with the air brakes, no problem, and Burno's going to be in trouble right about now. Oh, there comes the first shot. Miss. Terrible miss.
Close, really, there.
No. But at least we see some level of aggression, which is always nice. Rossman's playing a very conservative game here, and Burno might be able to capitalize on
this is the point where Burno is getting out of his predicament a bit here. He's back into a two-circle.
Now maybe Burno realizing that he could actually do the two-circle. Oh, hey, wait, is Rossman out of fuel? No, he's not. He was just really conservative on the fuel, and that might be Rossman's kind of problem here. Look how slow he is. 115.
Yeah, Rossman's going to run out of energy, and if Burno's able to maintain his current energy state, he's eventually going to find himself, which we're seeing right now. The sustained turn rate's going to bring himself right around on the 6 of Rossman. So the patience of Burno and the willingness to just wait it out has allowed him to find himself in a really good position.
Which is now lost.
It's lost, but the energy state that Rossman has allows the forgiveness of that mistake in Burno.
Correct. Now Burno will get another chance soon. Looks like Rossman is conserving fuel for whatever reason. Burno is smartly avoiding the head-on and going into a two-circle here. And this is it. This might be a game over.
Yeah, the Mirage is so slow.
And that's
There's some
it.
hits on target, loses the nose cone.
It's a headshot.
I think that's going to be it. Yeah.
Headshot.
And he gets ejected. So Burno able to stay alive throughout that round one, miraculously with all of that jinking, and Rossman just wasn't able to capitalize. So good flying by both pilots, but Burno was just able to capitalize on the finality of that round. So moving on to round two, Burno has the advantage here coming in with the round one win. Will Rossman be able to bring it back even at one apiece, or is Burno going to carry on the advantage here coming into round two? Burno says he's ready. Rossman says he's ready. And we are underway here in round two. And this time we're going to ride along with Rossman coming in here to the merge.
Burno's doing a steep dive for the merge setup and pulling up here.
Suge, at what point was Burno able to reverse that? I mean, what allowed him to get out of the predicament he was in?
Rossman didn't use full afterburner when he was in the deck. He was somewhat conserving his power. I have no idea why. Maybe he was trying to save fuel, whatever, but Rossman didn't use full afterburner, and that alone gave Burno the advantage there in the end. Burno wins the one circle and is anchored on Rossman's 6. Let's see what kind of tricks Rosman pulls. He extended the air brakes, but not fully. Gonna go a bit more of a dive here. Typical Mirage one circle, like or trying to force an overshoot trickery, which works well as long as the bandit bites. Burno is kind of biting, but not completely. Burno is way faster now, and
looks like Burno's not diving nearly as much. Just waiting for the opportunity to slide back in behind him as Rosman during the turn has to deplete more energy. But, you know, even now, Stooge, it looks like Burno's at a pretty big disadvantage, but Burno's energy state is so much higher than Rosman at this point.
As long as he stays out of the gun sight, Burno will outrate him here. And soon he will realize that, you know, he see this nose drooping on the
right about now.
Yeah,
Rosman's
so
out of energy.
So you know, at maximum at this point, Burno realizes, oh, I'm actually gaining with this rate, and now then all he has to do is continue doing the same thing.
Is the Mirage's sustained turn rate that poor, or do people have a tendency to just over-G just a bit and bleed all their airspeed?
It's not poor, but it's worse than people think. It is worse than people think. It's actually below the F-15s and the Su-27's rate. We have damage here.
We do. So Rosman did take some damage, and this could be another hit. Didn't see anything get hit, but Rosman does have a bit of damage. I don't know if any of his systems are deteriorated coming in here, but Rosman is in a world of trouble with Burno putting these rounds, these M61 20 mils, down target on him. And he's getting really, really low. Really low, and with that little energy, I'd be really worried about being able to pull out.
Mistake!
Oh, but Burno makes a mistake and plunges headlong into the ground, and Rosman is able to equalize it at 1 apiece.
I was just about to say before that happened, I was thinking, you know, this low altitude flight with the Hornet is risky, because the Hornet isn't as forgiving if you pull really high AOA or something like that. It's a bit heavier on the controls than the Mirage, so doing this low altitude one circle tricks is risky, and I think that's what happened to Burno. That risk combined with that he had to divide his attention between the bandit and the ground cost him that mistake. And of course the extra pressure that the Mirage puts on him because it's just better at one circling. Interesting.
Coming into round 3, Burno and Rosman were equalized at 1 apiece. Who do you give the advantage to coming into this?
Let's say 60-40 to Burno. Burno, I would say Burno is the better pilot, but he's not perhaps fully knowledgeable of how the Mirage handles, and that's giving him a slight disadvantage.
Now, do you have to credit something to Rosman coming off the last round win? I mean, coming off a win, I think, does give you an advantage as far as, you know, morale, right?
Most definitely, and well, credit for Rosman for doing actually everything he can against this Hornet. He's doing all he can with the Mirage, and I think he's doing mostly the right things, right? Maybe, you know, a little more aggression on Rosman's side would put Burno even more at risk. Like, yeah. Here's the Burno is bleeding a lot of speed here. Look, he's 150 knots. I think that's a mistake, because this puts him right in the Mirage's alley. This is where the Mirage likes to be, right? And here we see the end result of that. And me personally, I'm pretty confident in engaging these Mirages with the Hornet, but like I said, you have to force 2 circles. You just have to, or there's no chance. And okay, Burno did an extension here with high speed, so
got that energy back.
Yeah, he's alive.
I think was the correct thing to do.
Absolutely, but we'll see. Rosman has to finish this one way or the other. I shouldn't say, but I kind of hope that Rosman might drop Burno Why? Because it might be easier time for
You
me.
don't have to fight Burno, is that what you're saying?
Because I can handle a Mirage, like, I'm not scared of it. But I am a little scared of Burno.
So this looks like a repeat or a continuation of round one, where we're finding Rosmum on the tail of Burno, but not able to really close the gap significantly enough to get guns on target and really even get a shot. And Burno looks to be constantly trying to take this into the vertical. Now, is Burno trying to capitalize on anything when he's taking this into the vertical, or is he just doing it because it gives him more room to jink and stay out of the Mirage's gun sight?
He's trying to stay alive, first of all, and that's why the high enough speed. But other than that, I think Burno is a bit like he's unsure how to break this situation. And of course I would too, because if you like just turn in one way, okay, now he's trying to do a split S, a hard split S, but the Mirage can follow, no problem. That's the problem, because all these instantaneous turns, the Mirage will keep up. This kind of slow speed overshoot attempts, the Mirage will follow. Oh shit, this looks bad. You can see how Mirage handles here.
Yep.
There's some damage.
And I think that,
yes.
There it is. That is it.
Yes.
Rosmum clinches it, rips the right wing off Burno's Hornet, and that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Rosmum's Mirage, the waiting man, finds his opportunity as Burno tries to use and force an overshoot, and Rosmum just pounds him and says, not today.
Wow.
That was a great match.
Yeah, that was very impressive from Rosmum. Rosmum completely kept up with Burno's attempt to force him overshoot. Completely, when Burno starts turning, spiraling hard, he just does the same thing and is confident that the Mirage, my plane is doing it just as well as yours and even a little bit better. So, he has no problem following him. And then they're in a dive, but they're a very slow dive. So just then a few rounds in, and that's it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to get the last round ready. It features Ravage Talon for Solo Wing Pixie 67. So if you guys can hang on just a few minutes, we will be into our last round for the 8th finals of Fights for Honor. More BFM and the last part of the BFM action coming at you in just a few. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for the final round. Where is my mouse? Mouse, where did you go? There you are. Sorry about the screen freaking out. But we are here for the final round of today's 8th finals featuring Ravage Talon and Solo Wing Pixie. So I'm just got to find out, is Ravage ready? Stooge, you here?
I'm here.
Stooge is back. Ooh-wee. That was an intense last round. Rossman coming out on top. Man.
Brilliant. Just brilliant.
Well flown. Well flown. I cannot underestimate, guys. That was well flown by both combatants, but Rossman just able to capitalize on that late game mistake by Burno, not going into the overshoot and taking him down.
Yeah, like he used and abused perfectly the Mirage's advantages, forcing the one circles and laughing at the overshoot attempts, basically.
Just waiting on Ravage to issue the already. Doesn't look like he's getting it. So guys, I'll be right back. I'm gonna make sure that he's ready before we get this underway, and just give me a few minutes. All right, now we are ready. So I've got both guys ready. Here's the 3, the 2, and the 1. Fights on, and this is going to be Hornet versus Hornet. And Stooge, I'm pretty sure you like airframes. Like that's your thing, right? You like flying whatever your opponent is flying.
Absolutely, I love it, because then then you remove the differences between airframes and you only have the piloting skill and nothing else. You don't have to evaluate the differences. You just have to evaluate your opponent, right? Yeah, I love it that way.
So here we come. No real pre-setup coming into this merge. Looks like Solo takes it into the vertical, using God's G to come around. You guys are going to be able to visually see how much faster he's able to get his nose around on the target. So he's already nose on against Ravage.
And Ravage makes...
trying to pull lead, closing, and then Ravage turns away.
It makes a colossal... I think Ravage lost sight here. Lose sight, lose the fight. We'll see is that true. Now, Solo Wing has to be careful not to overspeed here. He has to manage his speed, which he seems to be doing quite well. He's not... Yeah, he's not overspeeding. It's 320 knots. It's a very nice continuation for this turn, and Solo Wing is in a good position to finish the fight. With a patience, of course. I'm not sure he has to take the shot here. He's trying to. Might connect. Oh, there's connections, yeah. Good damage. Right Elevon missing.
Yep.
On Ravage, and
solid shots there coming from Solo.
That's pretty much a kill on its own. I mean, it's hard to see how Ravage is gonna recover from this. The damage is too bad.
He lost control of his aircraft. When you lose one of those horizontal stabs, there's really not much coming back from it.
Nope.
So Solo Wing taking that one in definitive fashion, and we are moving on to round 2. Solo Wing making Ravage Talon check out early. So will Ravage Talon be able to revitalize himself and come back here in round 2 and equalize this at 1 apiece? Where is my mouse?
Yeah, that was pretty textbook. Why a vertical opening is, I believe, in most cases, better than a horizontal opening in purely angles terms, right? Of course, I don't mean the whole thing, because there's some people, like Burno does it sometimes, and AS does it, for example, and he'll just merge without a pre-merge setup at all, and he won't even, they won't even turn instantly. They're like, they'll merge you, wait a few seconds, see what the other guy is doing, and then do something. It's not a bit of a slower approach, and it works as long as there's altitude to play with. Doesn't work well on the deck. Okay, here we go.
Solo Wing really doing exactly what he did in round 1, coming in here, going into the vertical, utilizing God's G, and getting that nose authority advantage over Ravage Talon.
Beautiful. But this is just textbook, and I think Ravage lost sight again. That's what happens when your target goes into the sky. That sun.
Yeah, if you turn the wrong way when your target goes in the sky, you're gonna lose sight of it.
Yeah. Sometimes the targets just disappear into the sky. Yeah. I'd like to see some gun defense from Ravager. He's in a dangerous spot. Here come the gunshot. Come on, defend it. Jink, jink, jink. Jink, jink, jink. Hit your burners, pilot. Defend. Oh, that's not good enough. It's gonna get hit.
Yep. And I think that's it. What did he lose that time? I just think he lost hydraulics in all of his flaps. That's going to be it. And Solo Wing takes that one like no problem. I got this, brother. And takes him down. And that's all she wrote. Ravage Talon gets removed and Solo Wing moves on and wraps up, really. That is the culmination of the 8th finals, ladies and gentlemen. So well flown by both teams, or both pilots, and congratulations to Solo Wing. That was like the complete opposite of last matchup there, Stooge. I mean, that match ended really quickly, and Rosslyn versus Burno took a while.
Indeed. Well, thanks for letting me hang out here. It was fun.
Yeah. Thanks for coming to join us. Ladies and gentlemen, the next round is going to be quarterfinals and that is going to take place on September 28th. It's going to start at noon, 1700 Zulu, so be sure to mark your calendars for that one. If you're not following us already, make sure you follow DCS World Events here on Twitch. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, and make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, as I'm always releasing or trying to release some highlight videos and stuff going on there. But also, if you guys are not familiar, the main thing the DCS World Events does is SATAL every Saturday, 1400 and 1700 Zulu. SATAL is Squadron Air-to-Air League. It pits 6v6 and 4v4 for squadrons in an all-out air-to-air deathmatch. And that is every Saturday, and you guys can see how everything's shaping up on splash1gaming.com/FOH for Fights for Honor, and splash1gaming.com/SATAL for the SATAL stuff. So, guys, again, thank you for tuning in and watching us today. Thank you again, Stooge. Thank you to all the sponsors, and thank you to everyone who's contributed to the Folds of Honor charity. I'm your host, Moltar, and that's all I got, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.
Have a good one. Thanks, Moltar.